Today we have a special guest, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rakisha McKenzie. I'm 31. I'm an African American female from Mississippi.
Cool, cool, cool. Um, so before we get directly into the topic, I'm gonna ask you a few questions just about yourself. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Um, do you mind sharing your religious stance? Like, are you a Christian, Muslim, figuring it out? How? What would you say?
I'm a Christian, but I'm a developing Christian. I would say that I have not read the Bible front and back, but I stand for Jesus. Yes,
Does being a Christian impact who you date and how you date?
it definitely does. It definitely does. Because when you're growing up in the church, it shouldn't be this way, but those are the people that will judge you first. So you
Mm,
find yourself thinking about what other people would think, even outside of church, because that's kind of the norm. So it definitely does like that. Yes, definitely.
okay, okay. Are you married?
I am not married.
Cool. Have you
Never
ever,
been married.
never been married? Have you ever been engaged?
Never been engaged.
Cool, cool. And do you have kids?
I have three girls,
Three girls, so all three, no boys.
no boys. I have a
Oh man.
godson.
Okay.
No boys.
Three kids. And do they all have the same father or do they have different fathers?
They have different fathers. Have two with one, and then my little girl has a different father.
Okay, okay. Now we can dive a little bit into the subject. As you know, the topic is, would you rather be a baby's mama or a wife? And even though you do already have children and you're not a wife, would you rather be a baby's mama or a wife?
I definitely would rather be a wife. Um, I would not regret my kids at all, but I definitely would rather be a wife. There are a lot of benefits that come with raising children in a two-parent household, whether that's a mixed or blended family
Mm,
or traditional family. Is more benefit to that.
okay. And did you grow up in a single parent home?
I grew up in a blended home, but not a single-parent home. Both my mother and my father remarried.
Okay. Okay. And who did you spend majority of your time with? Like what household did you would you say you spent majority of your time
I would say both.
with? Okay.
I think my parents really did a great job with showing us how step parents, like, everything was not glitter and gold, but my dad stepped in and he would talk to my stepdad, and it would never be any problems. It was never any problems with like co-parenting and like going back and forth. It was just whenever we wanted to go, we went.
Cool, cool. Do you feel like having a two parent household affected you in any type of way, like the way you see households or
Um, I will say that I would wonder why my dad wasn't around more. But
mm,
now that I'm older, I'm able to realize that, everything is not how you see it on TV. My dad worked
mm,
offshore, so he was rarely home. And when he was home, he did the best he could as far as, picking us up. We would go out to eat, have daddy daughter days. So they did the best they could and worked together to co parent. And now that I'm older and I see how bad it can be,
yeah.
especially in low poverty communities, I'm
Mm,
grateful and thankful that they were able to co-parent, because nowadays there's so many different baby mamas.
yeah.
It's like the norm, and I'm a baby mama, but I don't believe that that is right. I still believe in the traditional household.
Okay, okay. Um, do you think a child so you kinda answered the question, but I'm still gonna ask directly. Do you think a child is better off in a two parent household?
Well, no, I wouldn't say better off.
Okay.
Because don't get me wrong, single parents do it all the time. I'm doing it, and I think my kids are doing great. Um, but they have to be able to see and get both male figure role and female figure, because I do believe that the female most times does give off the emotional nurturing aspect, and the
Mm,
male father figure does give off that seniority role, and shows especially a little girl how to treat a woman and how
mm.
they should be treated. And same thing for a little boy. So there are benefits, but it has been done in a single parent household, and like celebrities have been raised by single parents.
Okay. Okay. Do you think women should be proud of being a single mother?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I don't think any single mother would be proud to be a single parent at all. At
Okay.
all.
I didn't expect you to say that. Um, I feel that though. I feel the same way. And when I say proud, do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, because there are younger, baby mamas, quote unquote, and they just like, oh yeah, well, I got his baby, and some people think there are benefits to that. Like they go out and be like, oh, I want this man, he got money, I'm gonna have his
mhm.
baby, and it connects them, and they live a life of torment and hell. I'm not sure if I can say it on the podcast, but
Yeah, you can say
you know,
all that.
their life is, not saying it's terrible, because a beautiful blessing comes out of it, but it happened for
Right.
the wrong reason. And you live a life of regret without wanting to be regretful. And that's depressing within itself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Would you say that there is a time limit just to settle for a child instead of a ring? Like, say, like an age limit or just whatever. Like, do you feel like that? Is there ever a time you should just settle for a child instead of getting a ring?
No, there's never a time. I'll let that bell ring out, drop, rust, everything. I would never settle for a child before you commit to me, because we should not be committed through a child. We're supposed to be connected spiritually and bonded through children, not committed. Like you supposed to commit to me.
Okay. Is there a time limit for a ring? Like, if you've been in a relationship for so many years, is there a time limit to when that man gives you a ring?
Um, I definitely say yes, but it's more than that. Because I say if you're in a relationship, and I don't want to kind of contradict myself, because I was in a relationship for 7 years, and
Mm.
we just weren't ready. And every time he brought up the conversation, I was just like, kind of like, nope. And I just, at some
Oh,
point, had to let him know, no. If you ask me, I would say no, so don't do it. Like, if you're trying to plan anything, like, just don't do it. And he had to respect that. But at the end of the day, if you all in a relationship past whatever, you know, point that you've drawn for yourself, then there's something more to just not wanting to be married. There's some underlying issues in their relationship that should be dealt with. And I feel like everybody should, make sure that their foundation is set before they even think about getting married. Most
mm.
people get married, and then they're like, okay, we need to go to counseling. Why not have counseling before you get married?
Yeah,
So,
premarital counseling is a good thing.
absolutely.
It's a good thing. So I hear you saying, you shouldn't be proud to be a single mother, single parent, single mother. Um, there is a time limit for a ring, and you actually, from what you said, sounds like you turned down a ring or
Yeah, there
a
wasn't, I don't
possible
even want
ring.
to, exactly. I didn't even want to get to a ring at all. I just wanted to make sure there was no embarrassment. I just had
Wow.
respect enough for him to say,
Mm.
I know that's where you want this to go eventually, but we're not there yet. So
Okay.
don't disappoint us by doing that.
So is this a person that you had a child with?
Yes.
Do you feel like that you got pregnant on mistake, or you kind of knew what you was doing, or like what happened to for you to go and let your guards down to have a child?
Ooh, these shows said we was going to get personal, huh? Well, I felt like it's a lot. Well, I didn't think I was going to be able to have kids. Um,
Oh.
I was told at the age of 16 that it would probably be impossible.
Wow.
And then I also had two miscarriages as well.
Mm.
So when I met my oldest girl's father, like we prayed together. We sat down and we prayed together, and he was like, "One day we're gonna have a child." And I'll be doggone it can quit. But in it, before that happened, I got baptized too, and I knew in that moment that I was gonna be able to have kids. That's a testimony that I have to tell another day. But we actually sat down, and we prayed together, and when I got pregnant, I was excited. But then a lot of things started happening. There was never a moment where I regretted being a mother, but I also had to stand 10 toes down on what I believe in my core values, and a man would never hold me bondage to my happiness and what I know I believe in and
Mm.
I deserve. So if I have to be a baby mama, then my kids still gonna be loved, whether it's half time, part time, or full
Yeah.
time.
So so you had this is the first child's father that you're talking about with the ring.
Correct, correct.
And
My it's a little bit choppy. So my oldest girl and my youngest girl have the same father. And that
oh,
happened
okay.
because my middle girl, I dated him in college. So my whole 4 years that I was living in Cleveland, Mississippi, well,
Mm.
not the whole 4 years, but the majority of the time I was in Cleveland, Mississippi, I dated him. And we both ended up moving back home and split up. And after I graduated from USM, me and Renaya's dad had already separated at that point. We separated when I was pregnant with her.
Okay.
So we was already co-parents. So we ended up trying to make it work. I got pregnant with my middle girl. Um, Things didn't end up working out, and my older girl dad went and got help, got himself together. We moved into a little house, and he would show up every day and wouldn't fix anything. He'll show up every day to fix something and wouldn't fix anything. So when I say he put the work in, he put the work in. So we ended up getting back together, and we was together, until my last baby.
Mm. So you feel like the the possibility of like not being able to have a kid made you more open to having a child without the ring.
Oh yeah, I was excited. Like now, I'm not saying now Renee was playing, my oldest girl. The other two weren't playing.
Oh,
They
okay.
weren't playing at all.
Oh, so you
Um,
saying like you was having sex and you felt like you couldn't have a child, so you was kind of, but you said, but then you said you knew you would have it when you prayed about it. So you did want the
right,
child.
right. So something happened in my childhood. That
Okay.
I would rather not bring up.
Okay.
But I went to the doctor and after treatments and all kind of stuff. But um, the doctor told me it was a big possibility I would not be able to have kids. And I don't
Mm,
know if she was just trying to scare me or whatever the case may be, but
right.
um, I did miscarry. Like I got pregnant with my first daughter. I had miscarried before her, but I got pregnant with my first daughter and conceived her. Like she was premature, but she made it.
Okay.
But after her, I miscarried, and then there was Zaya, and then it was Layla.
Okay.
So after that point, I knew it was possible. And after I got baptized, I definitely knew in my heart that it was possible, and I didn't question it.
Mm, okay. So there was a time when y'all both were in the same house raising children together.
Oh yeah, yeah. So came back into the picture when my middle girl was like 4 months, 4 or 5 months,
Hmm.
and yeah, he was in the house with us ever since. So they definitely got both, but he's one of those fathers that will not whoop. It's just whatever your mama said. So
Hmm.
they didn't really get that side of this.
Okay. Okay. What does it mean when a woman doesn't know who the father is?
Oh, that's horrible. Um, I don't know what that means because of course, I'm thinking of a Maury TV show right now,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm picturing in my head. But I do know that sometimes that could not just be the case, and sometimes women they have horrible breakups. And I went through a phase where I was like, well, I just don't want to date anybody. I wasn't out just smashing either, but I just didn't want to date, and I didn't want to have to commit my time to anybody else because I was focusing on me.
Okay.
Um, so women. that don't have that same logic, they go crazy, and
Mm.
they just feel like it's a like a relief, I guess. And so some mistakes happen. I, I don't know.
Yeah, I never understood it because I was like, how can that's a lot of dudes. Like the only way I could see it happening if like you went out of town on a girls trip and you was drunk, y'all didn't exchange contact information, and boom, you
No,
don't know who the daddy is. The one night
no, you
stand.
put too much.
Huh?
You put too much into it. No, sometimes it could just be like, I'm talking to this dude, but he don't want to commit, so we just friends with benefits. And then I'm talking to this dude, and I really like him, and it just happened one night. Like it could just be something as simple as that. And I don't know. But at the end of the day, you have to take accountability and say, okay, well, yeah, I was young, stupid, and dumb,
Mm,
but what now? Because if you didn't wrap up and it results in a pregnancy, you still got to account for that. You have to be woman enough to tell whomever you slept with, look, this may be yours, it may not be. Let's prepare what to do, whatever. The problem
mm,
is women don't want to take accountability for the things that they've done wrong, and it
mm.
comes back to haunt them, and then it ultimately hurts the child.
Yeah, that's the answer I was looking for. I'd be like, is it that possible to not know who, like, for it to remain like that? Like that has to be, to me, I always thought that had to be a decision. You just didn't want that to be the father or something. Like to
No,
me, like I never understood it though. I was like, how is that possible?
no, sometimes, and then the way the female body works too. So the first time I got pregnant, like I had no idea, like my due date. They kept telling me I was such and such amount of weeks, and then I go back and I'm a whole nother amount of weeks. Like the math wasn't mathing for me. So some women just don't know how to calculate that. Women are technically pregnant for 10 months. They're supposed to be pregnant for 10 months.
Mm,
And like women just don't know how to calculate ovulation, or just too young enough to even know anything about it at the time. Most times it's
mm,
teenagers that don't know
okay.
who the father is because they're fighting for attention or whatever the case may be.
Mm, okay. I mean, I was always looking like, okay, you might not know why it's in you, but the DNA test should get you right. That's how I always thought.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Um, do you think food stamps and Section 8 play a part in women not wanting to get married?
No. No, women still want to get married, whether they have food stamps, Section 8, welfare. If they send out another school EBT card for the lunch, I'm gonna be on their list too. Like, and I still want to get married. So
Okay.
whatever, I'm not saying that government assistance is supposed to step in, but you know what? I'm sorry. Now that I think about it, the government does play a role in steps in, because one of the requirements to be on food stamps, or I think welfare, government assistance, you can't have a man in the household with you
Right.
or another form of income. So that
Right.
that makes women feel like, oh well, you can't stay in my house, but you can come over, or
Mhm.
whatever workaround they're trying to do. So yeah, I change. I take that back.
Yeah, my opinion, I be thinking that play a big role in it. Um, I think it done plays such a big role that people don't even think about it. Like
Mhm.
I a lot of social media, like I look at social media, I look at my timeline, and I'll see like a single woman and she like turning up, she taking pictures, she's going out, she lit, all that, and then she just pop up pregnant. Then the baby shower pictures come out, the baby come out, and I just never seen a dude in none of the pictures, and it be throwing me off. I be like, how is that? Like,
Well,
you know?
yeah, I get you. I get you. And a lot of it could be pride, but a
Mm,
lot of people, and just me speaking personally, can look at my page, and like when I had my last daughter, I came back to Columbia. I was like, girl, I never knew you were even pregnant, and I was like, I
mm,
know. I know. I'm just a private person. Like you can scroll through my page, and if it's not like a family picture or just like a special occasion, I don't just post. Like I have thousands of pictures, in
Mhm.
my phone with me, my ex, or family, whatever the case may be, and I just don't post
Mm.
because social media has not in the past. And then don't get me wrong, in the past I used to, but social media has not played a role that I feel comfortable with, like the way it's trending and it's moving. And I'm trying to like it's constantly changing and trying to stay on top of it, especially doing like any type of marketing or whatever the case may be. Social
Mm.
media is just changing, and I'm trying to get on top of it because my kids are already trying to be on social media.
Yeah.
I let them use YouTube, and
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
be done posting videos and not realizing that it's not like actually posted for public view. But the fact that they're even trying to do that scares me.
Yeah, that is scary. And when I say I'm not saying it like you have to a woman has to like let the world know she's pregnant. It's more like I see a lot of pride taken in the baby shower and the baby coming out, and I just be like, why not show who helped you make this baby? Like it just I always wonder like what is it to that, you know? Like is it something she
Yeah, I
hiding? Were they never together? Like what is it, you know? And then it seemed like it'll happen more than one time with the same person, like the same person I see, it'll be like baby number 5, baby number 4, baby number 3, and they all came kind of the same way. You be like, man, that like, is it like what's going on, you know? But not in a way of like I'm trying to judge her, but I'm just wondering like, are we just so used to like women having babies that we don't even show the image of the father no more? Like the father don't really mean it no more. It's just I'm pregnant. You see the child. That's it. You know.
yeah, and you just said something right there that just kind of summed it all up for me. You was like, do the father even matter anymore? And that right there is the issue. So I can speak for my generation and how I feel and how I believe, parents and roles, align with the children.
Hmm.
But these modern day young, and I can't even say millennial because technically I'm a millennial, but these young generations, the father don't matter. And it's not even about the gender roles anymore. It's because the men don't want to step up. How many fathers have you seen proud to go to a baby shower? The ones
Mm.
that do believe in their traditional household and want to be involved in their baby life and still go to doctor appointments and want to cut the umbilical cord, those are fathers you see at the baby shower and the gender reveal. Those the absent fathers, they probably was just, like you said, they probably was just, had a thing messing around or probably were never together. And she's
Mm.
just, being the best mother she can without them. That's one scenario, but it also could just be she was just, having fun getting around and he did.
Yeah. I don't know. I can see that. I used to believe that there was a lot of bad fathers until I became a father. And when I made certain decisions to not be a boyfriend, but I still wanted to be a father, it made everything so complex to the point where it was like I almost gave up. And I truly believe that more than half the time the father wants to be a father, but the woman has so much power and the government gives her so much power that the man is kind of left like helpless to her mercy at times. But that's just my position. That's what I've seen. So that's like my view of it. That's my perspective. But I do think there are some sorry fathers too, but I don't be thinking it's um to the extent that people say it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree to an extent, and it really just depends on the respect. But I do agree because when you look at the side of the government, when you think about even government assistance, what do they want? The father can't be in the household. And
Mhm.
when it comes to like custody battles or going to court, even for something as simple as visitation, they're gonna look at the mother and say, well, "What do y'all agree on?" They're not gonna look at the father. It maybe, but they ask the mother, "What did y'all agree on?" or the mother has a physical custody until she is proven unworthy to have physical custody. So
Mm,
I get it. And child support automatically is going to um it's some kind of paperwork you fill out in the hospital, but child support automatically is like created, a case is created just based off of certain information that you put down on a piece of paper. And I get it. It will make fathers feel like they're limited to their rights. But one thing I can say, oh Lord Jesus, I put up with so much
mm,
that would traumatize the average woman
mm,
from my kid's fathers, to make sure we were able to get on a. And don't get me wrong, it's still rocky, we still working, but because I believe that the communication can be right to co-parent. Like I want my girls to be daddy's girl, because when they be like, I want my dad, I'm gonna call them like, look, they want you. I need a break. And so, but as long as their respect is there,
yeah.
that communication that's needed can happen.
Mm,
So, and I know I just said a mouthful, but we.
mm. Look, I love it. I like that different perspective. I done just seen it play out in different ways. I truly believe that the image of the father done been destroyed. The image of what a man is useful for has been destroyed. And like even women that are raised with fathers, they are lucky to even have a father. Like they might be raised with a father, but he's just used as a tool to pay bills, and he's not really being a father. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like I
Yeah.
even with that, I think it mess up a woman's view our value of what a man can do. Because I feel like a lot of women look at men like we're just bill payers, but we a whole lot more than that, and we offer a lot of stability that come, yeah, with money, but also with just like structure in the house, protection, how to respect a man. Like everybody talks about respecting a woman, but it's kind of looked at weird when you say, "Do you respect the man?" Like it's kind of like a entitlement. And what you mean? He better respect me, So it's like we don't even get to like be who we are to women no more because of the climate of what's going on.
Well, yeah, I can get how it seems that way, but I will say this: I'm gonna stand up for our women.
Okay.
Um, Women, we give out what men put. So the reason why
Mm,
that the father figure has been diminished over time is because fathers have diminished over time,
mm,
and women have had to step up. So when you do have a true alpha male that comes into that household and not only wants to pay bills but want to go to football games and cheerleader practice and want to step
mm,
in, we don't know how to receive that. So any little thing and be, oh well, you got to go. The government,
mhm.
well, I'm gonna say tonight, you got to leave my house.
And that's
So that father figure has diminished over time. But I kid you not, if a true alpha male comes into that household and that happens, oh, you got to go, no ma'am. We're gonna stay right here. We're gonna talk it out. I ain't going nowhere.
and what is your definition of an alpha male?
Ooh, I would say an alpha male to me is somebody who knows how to be an alpha male, because you can be the loudest wolf in the pack,
Mhm,
but if what you say don't hit home for anybody, nobody's gonna listen.
mm,
So to me, I know it reminds me of my grandfather. He is a man of few words, but when he speaks, everybody be quiet. Like everybody could be in the room talking, and he can be whispering, and everybody gonna shut up and do what you say, Papa. True alpha male. He's gonna make sure everybody in the house is taken care of. He bought me my first car for college.
mm.
He just made sure that everybody was taken care of, and it wasn't just financial. Everything that he provided financial, we respected it because we respected him. And respect is lost in relationships, period. So how's a man gonna teach their child respect? Respect hasn't been passed down because it hasn't been in the household.
Yeah, I think a lot of single parent households is creating a dynamic we see between men and women because it's making the man more feminine, and he learning from like secondhand sources of how to be a man. if he even had it. And the mama, and it's, even though it sounds stereotypical and it might be overused, but I still like, a lot of times when women, to me, from what I'm thinking, it seems like women will be mad at men, but have this child, but they're mad at the father. They don't like the father, and the son feels that hate, so it kind of like demasculate him because the mom is so like against men, and he he is he think by being like super nice to women and so passive that that's what's gonna attract women, because like that's the way his mama like making it seem, because men hurt me so bad. And then the other way around is with the daughter, and she's more like, yeah, it just, I don't know, it just seemed like it ain't, we got a lot of unbalanced kids trying to have balanced relationships, and they just not working out due to single parent home, to me.
Well, I don't I disagree with that one because
Okay.
when it comes to balance, there could have been a point of time to where like that statement was just been yes, there's no, but there's too many resources out here. There's too many nonprofit organizations that provide, guidance and like there's too many organizations and too many people around to say, well, there's no father figure for my son. There's no good role model for my daughter to mimic because I'm not the best person I could be. Like there's that no longer is an excuse. You can get on YouTube and teach your daughter or son how to read because of this little lady on here talking like a little animal. Like if
Mm,
you can do that, then YouTube can do a lot of things. But get your kids out here and put them in sports. Let them connect with the coach. Things like
mm,
that. So to me, that no longer is an excuse. But now I do see where you could get the idea of how men are more feminine because they're growing up in a household with a single parent. But that to me,
mm,
I don't think that makes them more feminine. I think it's the woman that has to play a vital role at that point. Because if you're a single mother raising a man, you already don't have that job title or qualification. All you can do is teach your son how a woman is supposed to be treated because of how you will want to be treated. So when it comes to time for him to stand up and be a man, he gonna think about his mama, and not in that type of way, but out of
mm.
respect. So
And that's
if now,
that's if the woman is healthy, if she's like healthy minded and is picking the right dude.
right, and not necessarily picking the right dude. I know, like you made a statement, like if the son seen her yelling at his dad, he'll probably assume that all women or his mom hate all men. And that's sad. But at the end of the day, realistically, sometimes that's what happened. I grew up in the country, so it doesn't quite happen that way because in the country everybody loves everybody. So you may stay at grandma's house for a couple weeks, you still have that role model. But
Mm,
some places you have kids growing up in foster care. That's
mm,
not necessarily say they won't be a healthy child because they grew up without parents completely. But you have to be able to say or you have to at some point. It's unfortunate. I hate it. It's unfortunate, but at some point, that child has to grow into an adult or a capable teen to say, I'm going to take life into my own hands, and I know this is not healthy. And then you have to change your mindset. I remember I went through a leadership training, and it was a month long course, staying up midnight, we on Zoom, yelling and screaming. But I
mm,
had to be able to release some things and forgive myself that I was holding on. Like people, my family, they let go of it already. People that
mm.
wronged me, they let go of it already.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I was still holding on to it, and it tore me down. And I started to see how it changed me for my kids.
Mm,
I had to change that in myself. So at some point, that person, whether they grew up in a bad household, no parent household, one parent household, they still have to make the decision to be a decent human being.
mhm. And all of what you said, I feel like that's true. I just don't think that many people will do it.
You're right. They won't. That's the hardest thing about life, making the decision to move forward in the best way possible.
Yeah, cause like the next question, do you think marriage will still matter in the next 15 years?
Mm. For legal purposes, I think it will. But for spirituality, I don't know.
Mm,
Because the way, even like just speaking in terms of Christianity, so they're becoming so lenient within the church
mhm,
that it's now spilling out of the church. And so you have so many different religions now, so many different denominations, so many different, everything is becoming mixed. And now, instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm Christian," I just love you. I don't care what you are. I just love you. Whether I'm Christian or whatever,
mhm.
at some point you have to get to just being a good person, no matter how mixed up it is.
Yeah, yeah. I think the world, if you are a Christian and you looking at the world from a Christian perspective, I would say the world has like gone damn near to the devil. Like we do not look at God like we used to. It's just we love sin and hate. I don't know, even know what the opposite of sin is with the word for that, but we love sin more than we love God, and we like don't even think about it in that way. Most people are a lot of people now are just going to saying, I'm spiritual. I'm a Christian. I was raised Christian, but I'm spiritual, So I mean I get that. I get it, but at the same time, a lot of stuff of what grandma said, if you was blessed to have a grandma that grew up in the church, gonna come true in your life when you get older and you're gonna be like, dang, I see why they were that hard on me. They was trying to save me from, certain things.
Mhm. Yeah, you're so right. And it'd be those words that you remember at times, like when you're reading the scripture, like, "Oh, I remember my granddad used to say this all the time." Those are gonna be the things that ground you. So yeah,
Mm,
like that book and that word having it. But I do agree to some extent because sin is so much like the devil is good at what he do. Like
mhm,
God allows things to happen to us because He wants to, try and test us, to build us up, and make us stronger and eligible to be welcome into His, gate. But the devil is good at what he do, and that's one thing I was saying earlier about social media. When it comes down to sin is all around us, it's on our phones. We pick sin up every day.
yeah.
We look at sin every day. It's about what we allow to come through the devices. But if we allow simple things, people always talk about Illuminati in the music. I'm not even trying to look into that because I'm still trying to read the Bible. I ain't trying to worry about no Illuminati right now. I don't want to hear nothing about it. All I know is if I hear something, we turn it off. I hear something weird, we turn it off.
Right.
But it's there,
Mm,
and we don't think about it because it's so natural now. So it's going. And you're right. Like it's damn near it's hell on earth right now. But it's gonna
mhm.
take a strong group of individuals, people, followers, believers to change that. Or it's just the Bible is playing out its days like you said it would. And we just
Mhm.
need to be stronger believers.
Yeah, I think it's more of if you can wake up and see that, okay, maybe this is real. Maybe I need to chill out on all this other stuff and route myself into God's commandments, laws, and living to save me and my family and protect us from the fire that's coming. Maybe that's how I'm looking at it. But I don't know. One
But
more. Oh, my bad. Go. My bad.
Oh no, I'm just like you're looking at it right. You're looking at it right, but you have to be able to look internally too and realize that you're a stronger individual than most people that may be around you or that you're seeing. So you
Mhm.
may be able to wake up because of your wants and your needs and the values that was not just that you believe in now, but that was instilled in you, like your grandma voice, your parents, the things that they taught you that's instilled in you.
Mhm.
Everybody wasn't taught that. Everybody wasn't blessed with that knowledge. So you equipped different. But
Mm.
these modern day people living on the streets, they not thinking about waking up praying and protecting nobody but themselves. And that's of the devil. God didn't make us to sit and protect ourselves. He wants us to give and give abundantly.
Mm.
So that's just of the devil. But just the world that we live in right now. So it's easy to look at it that way, but
Mm.
you just gotta see that you think different. And it's a good way, to think, but not everybody on that level yet.
Yeah, and the from hearing some of your story and what you shared today, it I'm not okay. I do have a bit of being like judgmental towards certain things, even though I can say I participated in making a single mother. You know, um, everything is not that simple. Like it's not just black and white. It's not like, oh, she just being defiant and having kids. You know, even if she got more, even if it happened more than one time, it might be deeper than that. It might be like a mental healing phase that she couldn't go through, and she having kids, and it's like, you get what I'm saying? Like it's deeper than just her wanting to have kids without a ring or not wanting to
Right,
have.
right,
And it's easy just to put everybody in a box and be like single mother, wife. Uh,
right. And what a lot of people don't understand is like it's a difference between just because you're not a wife, that don't mean you out here and you just single.
mm,
You can be in a relationship and have an accidental pregnancy and it just don't eventually work out. You never lead to the ring, but that doesn't mean that everyone out here just going with every John, Jimmy, and Jill or whatever.
yeah,
Nowadays it may be Jill, but so like you said, it's not always black and white.
yeah. To me, you got different categories. Like you still seem like you have a lot of good qualities that you will offer a man. Some women I see that got 4 or 5 kids and they still chasing the club. They still, living as if they don't have kids. And
Yeah,
I mean, and that could be me just being judgmental. Like, hey, long as she got a babysitter, who cares if she wants to turn up? Uh, but to me, it just don't like just because you young don't mean you gotta participate in just foolish, drunk, high risk, a lot of sex behavior, especially when you got kids because you are they parent. Like that's your responsibility. I'm not saying you can't have a girls' night out and stuff like that, but every week you in the club, every you I don't know. Certain people I feel like need to be put back in their place and like they need to understand like no, it's time to be a mama. Like you got to be a mama too. You just can't be turning up like
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like because you brought it home for me. You was like, well, every week you're in the club because I was ready to say like, don't get me wrong. If you got 4 and 5 kids and you still able to get in the club and wear them heels to the club,
that.
then you missed a lot of your childhood. And they probably trying to get them glory days back. So I'm all for
Mm,
it. But
okay. Nah, some of
and
them
I'm
seem
I'm
like
just
they just took a time out and tell right back in.
But I get it. I get it because I see the same thing. And don't get me wrong, I can be judgmental and I be saying the same thing. Like,
Mm,
girl, you always like, come on now, So I get it. And I'm just not a club person. But I've been to a club before. I was in college. I go to the club and there is a sense of enjoyment, like a safe enjoyment. We just going to listen to music. We ain't really got to do much.
mm.
We can sit down, But some people don't think of it that way. They feel like they got to go to the club every week, or girl, let's go this. They not ready for that family life then, because ain't gonna be no going to the club and this. I don't know. Well, it's some couples that do that. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
but that's what throw me off is like, okay, I can see you slipping up with one kid. Two, that's the limit. Like, okay, maybe two. I don't know, maybe two. Cause I get it, y'all be fertile right after that first one pop out. But three, and you still trying to turn like you have 3 kids, but you not trying to be like that woman. Like, what are you doing? stop having kids till you ready to give them a family and a father and like a stability. Like in my mind, that's how I'm looking at it. Like, why would you put a child through that?
Yeah, I see how you looking at it, and I try to look at things from both perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and I see how you getting it. And on a normal day, I would look at it the exact same way, like to the detail. But you never know people's story and their history, and
Yeah.
you know. So I get the no matter what the backstory is. Every doggone weekend now, come on. But if you can go to the club on Friday or Saturday night, you up in the church and your kids on school on time, they hearing I did, or
Mm.
whatever. If you own your stuff as a parent, your kids got what they need, then girl, go to the club, do what you gotta do if that's what you want to do with your time to release.
Okay then.
But but if you in the club every weekend and your baby's got mismatched shoes on every day, they hair ain't combed. And I pride myself on being a hot mess mama. I tell the people at the daycare, yes, the bowl was in the car somewhere. I'll bring it later. I'm one of them mamas. My kids good. They hair did. They clean. Everything else gonna fall in place.
Yeah.
But there has to be some type of balance though. You can't be giving all your money to the club, but then you calling somebody for help to buy school clothes.
I still just it's a part of me to just be like you when you have all them kids like I'm blessed enough to have a wife and kids and we all in the same house except for one. And I see my wife struggle even though I'm here with the kids, you know what I'm saying? And so I just be like, man, I know it's tough. You got two or three, four kids, and you got to figure out who gonna watch them when you do this. Like every time you gotta just go into the store, might have to take a plan or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'd be like, why would you want to put that struggle on yourself?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I was like, shoot, if she's still able to go to the club, then baby, you have at it. Because even after the first one, I gave them days up after the first one. Like I don't want to wear heels unless I have to. They got to
Hmm.
be a certain type of shoe. I done went to the Cardigan Mom game. Look, I don't know, but I feel like look, if you're able to get to that point where you can do it, but I agree, you if because I agree. Just
Hmm.
going to the store, it's like, mom, I'll be right back. Can you watch them for 10 minutes? I'll be right back because
Hmm.
it'll take me 30 minutes
Take
to
a
get
lot of
everybody to
effort.
come.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so if you got to go through all that to babysitters, and don't get me wrong, my mom helped, but she is far from a babysitter. So
Hmm.
and if you got it that good, then you need to have a better job so you don't be in the club every weekend. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just be looking at it like this is a cycle that they done got stuck in, and hopefully they can get out of it. Um, Lauren Hill or Sexy Red?
Nor here.
You know who Sexy Red is?
No, that's why I didn't say
Oh,
it.
you don't
Cause
know
and
who
it's
Sexy Red is? Okay, okay.
and if she was that good, I know who she is.
Yeah, nah, she like up and coming. She got that viral song on TikTok where they talking about their booty and stuff. Like my booty hole brown, Pound Town. Have you heard it?
Oh
Pound Town. It be
no.
on the radio. It's crazy. But she like the epitome of like ratchetness, you know.
Oh,
Um, and I feel like, but you don't know who she is, so it wouldn't be a good conversation. But I do feel like how you say social media influence. I think like a lot of hip hop stuff influencing kids these days too. It even influenced me when I was younger, and I think it is setting us back. It's
it
causing.
is that. I'm sorry to cut you
Nah,
off.
you got it.
It is setting us back, but that also comes full circle to the topic of the show: the parents being in the household. Because at some point, like we can't not just put our kids in a bubble and they gonna be exposed to the world. Like we can pull up to the gas station, the
Mm-hmm.
car beside us may be playing a song that we never want our kids to hear.
Right.
It's out there. The kids gonna be exposed to the world. Parents play the part to come in and say, okay, well you have to understand, baby, don't. And I had to do it on my kids with scary movies. My
Mm.
sister would love playing scary movies, and she don't care who around, what kids around. She'll tell me, "Well, you can leave." But I had to explain to them this is something that's on TV, it's for fake. And now they just be like, "Oh, that fake thing, that's so fake." So even when it comes to the world, they hear certain songs on the radio. Well, this is entertainment. People get paid to say stuff like this, or people get paid to do this on TV, but they don't do this in real life. You have to
Yeah.
be able to, get that mindset prepared, or the world will break them down. And they feel like just because Gucci song about having all these chains, they got to walk around with a 2 pound brick around their neck. It's just
Mhm.
it's ridiculous. So I I don't know, but that's just how we live. We Unfortunately we're not gonna be able to change everybody because I mean it's some people that will be left on earth. It's gonna happen, and those may just be the people that we have to protect our kids from as much as possible.
Mm. Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still growing as a person, developing new opinions, new perspectives. Getting older to where like some of the childish things I'm forcing myself to leave behind. And it's an everyday struggle. But
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have anything else you would like to share before I let you go?
Well, I want to say thank you for having me. I appreciate that. I appreciate being a guest. Yeah, and the topic was great. Anytime we can spread any type of news and resources about our community for our community is great
Mm.
because people need to understand that they have a voice and they can speak out about being disenfranchised and in poverty, and because we have to be able to stand for ourselves in order for there to be change. So yeah, I appreciate you doing this podcast.
Thank you, thank you. That mean a lot. I know you have your own business, right? You have
Oh
your
yes,
own
I do.
business. Go ahead and promote that. Tell the audience what you do and how you can help them if they need help.
Oh, yes. So, my business name is Zyre Virtual Solutions. It's spelled ZYRE. We are just a one-stop shop for all entrepreneurs. We assist entrepreneurs start their business, whether you're in the planning phase, you need business funding, or you don't even know how to file your state licensing or certifications, paperwork, all that good stuff. We help you on that end. And then we also provide a professional business address. So we have virtual offices that you can rent out whenever you need to come in and meet with a client, or you can just have your mail sent there and we can forward it out to you so you can use our business address to put on Google and things to pop up, and your home address will be safe. Nobody won't
Mm.
be popping up at the door. So that's what we do. And we also assist in things like management software. Because it's one thing to start a business and run a business, but you won't be able to run it efficiently until you have some type of software to house contact information, lead sources, and things like that. So we just help on all ends, and I'm the senior consult. Again, the company name is Zyre Virtual Solutions. Our number is 877-921-1528. Give us a call. We'll give you a free consultation, and we'll hook you up.
Man, that's what's up. I definitely put it on the banner too so people can know how to get to you and access you. I want to thank you again for coming on the podcast. It was great talking to you. Hopefully I can get you back on again on a different topic. And yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Like I said, thank you again for having me. Great, great topic. I look forward to being back on another topic. So yeah, have a good one.
Yeah.